In this video, I'm going to be talking about the ties or threats of death and family members. I'm going to show you how strategic they are when they're plotting these type of attacks. And what they do is part of their scheme is to turn it inward and make it look like a family member. I told you before, they're looking for someone to frame. And so what they do is they normally put one of their imposters, they demon possess one of your relatives, and they use them to kind of dismantle the person that would be hardest to take down. And once that's accomplished, they go back where they came from, but they go back toting gifts. These people are, once they're in the family, they start making connections with relatives that they weren't recently connected with. So you'll see them trying to establish and build bridges. They're collecting life insurance policies on people that you don't even know. Not only are these people killing your relatives, but they are also making it possible for their imposters to collect life insurance policies, which is insurance fraud. They're making it possible for them to collect the policies. They transfer the policies back to their accounts. No one ever knew about it. Okay. 33 years, y'all. I'm not sure why I put my age up there. I think I was going to talk about something else and decided not to. So maybe it'll come back to me. My intention for this video is to show you how when you allow somebody like this to infiltrate your family, how people start coming up injured and hospitalized, because when you're being demonized and oppressed, that's an attack made, a demonic attack made from the outside, which gives them more permission on the types of attacks that they do. When someone's possessed, it's not only is it a temporary ownership, but there's also limitations as to what they can do. When they're attacking folks from the outside, it's much easier and much more convenient for them. Injured, hospitalized, or have bared children, because that's another one. Most of these people owe the devil a child. And you'll see that in their demands, because I'm going to have to do a continuance of this. This is a pretty large topic, and as you can see, I have a lot of little subcategories to go into, but I'll get started. Like I said, I'm the angel in the family. So when you're attacking someone like me, it would be convenient and definitely necessary to get rid of my relationships. Anybody that could possibly help, anyone that could possibly vouch for my character. Those are the type of people that they have to get rid of. There's a reason why no one is signing my petition on Facebook. There's a reason why no one is sharing these videos. There's a reason why my relatives aren't acting like they care. And that's because they are not themselves. I'm one of those people, when I speak, people normally listen. My relationships are in good standing. Those that aren't, it's still no bad blood. So, yeah, they've attacked everyone that I know to kind of orchestrate this thing and get me to submit and stop talking. So, have a mother and a father. This is me down here. And it just so happens that I'm also the matriarch. I have been since 2002 or 3. Really long time ago. Oh. The matriarch. So that means that not only do I have good standing relationships outside of my family, but my relationships within my family are solid. I'm good with everybody. These people talk to me. I help, I listen, whatever the case may be, I'm there for it. So what they did was they took and they possessed this individual. He's not himself. He's been possessed since May of 2012. Now, one of two things could have happened. Because there's a few type of ways these people can get into you. A trauma, passing out. He has a history of passing out. Or sex. They might have sent the female his way. But because the enemy always knows who you are before you do, it would have been convenient. They've been watching me for a long time. So maybe they saw my relative at a vulnerable time and thought this would be convenient. Send her this way. And like I said, it could have been a trauma too. At any rate, I would have normally known. But because they were able to get in, that thing ain't going to tell me nothing. So anyhow, I want to show you how it's influenced and changed our relationships since it showed up. What I have here is a detailed timeline, and it goes back 5 years with things that have happened and things that I've been noticing, that I'm telling my mother about. The changes in these people that I'm talking to my mother about. These people are doing things that are nothing like themselves. And all of their recall is really bad. No one can really seem to remember or get the details right. They'll tell you stories that make no sense. And sometimes they'll tell you the same story in a completely different way. Details that should not be changed. Some things should stay the same. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to show you the relationships that have been affected. And I'm going to go back and give you a little history because that's necessary too. B and G, boy and girl. So the person that they possessed is a boy. These female cousins have sons around the same age as this boy or this man. These are all men now. Let me correct myself. Because I do have a habit of doing that. If your actions aren't like a man, I will call you a boy. Okay, so let's see. We have pointer here. Right here. So, and right over here. Okay, so there's 3 boys outside of the main character. Something that these women, the 2 mothers, don't know is the only thing that these young men have had in common is that none of them like their mothers. This has been going on for years, since they were teens. And these women are rooting the relationships on. I mean, they want their sons, to have somebody. And that's all fine and dandy. But you got to make sure they got the bottom line, the baseline stuff right. None of them men like their mothers. In most cases, they respect them because they don't have any choice to. Because there's some strong women. But they don't like them. So that's something that needs to keep that in mind. Okay. Anyhow, when you have somebody in your family that's demon possessed, demons come with a lot of baggage. Or reptiles. Let me be specific. This is a reptile. And I'll be referring to it as such. Reptiles come with a lot of baggage because reptiles hold souls. They've taken a lot of souls. Now what happened is when those individuals deceased, they're left with whatever was left in terms of the spirit. So ailments, all types of stuff. This thing has all types, that's why it's a reptile. It has all types of nasty, filthy stuff to pass out. So when it comes around, you can't allow this individual to be around you, especially children, because they have pure hearts. That's the type of stuff that these people prey on. But you can't allow them to hold relationships and give them a lot of time around you simply because they're coming and they're here for a reason. And that's to dismantle and break your family up. So if you accept anything that they say as truth, that's like giving them permission, and you'll notice people start getting sick. Okay, so like I told you, all my relationships are in good standing. This thing comes all of a sudden, it has an issue. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Whoa. Stay. Okay, yeah, so anyhow, you can't allow these people to hang around. Now, it's a reptile. It comes to break up families, and they're going to be preaching a lot of things, a lot of worldly things. They're going to want everybody to be of the world. They don't want you to have morals. They don't want you to nurture and grow your relationships. The funny part about it is, prior to 2013, when this individual showed back up in Akron, Ohio, everything was good. All these relationships were okay. All these relationships were okay. And then even though he started tearing the relationships up in 2012, once he came here and, had face-to-face interactions with these people, things got worse and people started getting sick and coming up hurt. 2012 timeline. Foolery ways of the world. Vices are hurt feelings. They look for people with vices and hurt feelings. And something that I forgot to mention is, as you can tell, this is a subject that they really don't want me to talk about. I'm going to have a lot of pauses. But this reptile, this is a business. This is what these people do. This is what these people do. So when he shows up, he doesn't show up by himself. He has a team of folks, and his team, or he has a surveillance team. So he's watching, he's getting a scoop on all these relationships. They're giving him feedback and reports on who's okay with who's not okay with who. And that was never an issue. When he seen nothing was wrong, he had to create friction. So he has these handy dandy notes here now. This insight that he didn't have before. And he's going through it. And he's like, okay, well, if I say this here, that'll cause create friction there. So that's the type of stuff that started unfolding. 2012. July. Source of false truth. I'm the individual that they want to take out. So when he showed up, what he did was he showed up. They always show up with this newfound confidence. This newfound confidence and a lot of strength. Because when you have those type of things on your side, things kind of tend to play out in your favor most of the time. So pretty much he came and he flipped the script. He would tell me to my face that he was to me who I was to him. So meanwhile, all these people are thinking, that this individual is coming unglued. And no one's really saying everything. They're just sitting back and watching him about self-destruct. Because for the first 2 years, it was really bad. And everybody just kind of, stayed off him around for a while and weathered the storm. I got a whole lot of calls during that time frame from his girlfriend. The kid never wanted to be at home. And he often mentioned seeing things. I prayed over him and covered that, and I hadn't heard anything about it since. But, of course, this thing, when I mentioned it to him, he dismissed it because he already knew what was going on. So, fast forward a little bit. She's having a lot of issues with him. A lot of issues. He eventually does something bad enough. And another thing that is necessary, when someone can't fulfill the mission, like I said, once they take someone's soul, that body is theirs to use however they feel. So they swap. No one man stays there. So let's say you have someone that they're interested in. They'll swap out because they'll all want to try. You get what I'm saying? So they seen that this guy was having a hard time. He really didn't want to be in a relationship. And he was having a hard time adjusting to this new life that he had to play out. So he just said, screw it. I got this sister that's just way too much for me. Nobody tries to cross her. No one even messes with her. I'm not doing it. They put another guy in his shoes. And he comes in and he's a much more mild-mannered. He's like, okay, let me smooth things over, fix it in the home first, get her on board. But the problem with that is she got to a point where she stopped asking for help. And when that happened, of course, in hindsight, now I know she's not herself. You know, but back then, I didn't recognize it right away. And besides, she went from calling me a lot and having me be the one to step in to not calling me at all. Because like I said, this new individual had a different approach. He come in and he smoothed things over in the home first. And he's like, well, when we have an issue, you can't be going to this person. So she no longer came to me. And if you can't come to me, you really can't go to nobody. Everybody else is going to fall on deaf ears. Nobody's going to act. So anyhow, so now this dude is going around all these people. Never had any problem with all these people. Him and him, they don't get along. They can't set horses. They can't get along. There's a lot of pain there. A lot of healing needs to be done. But this other thing is completely different. So he knows he's going to need an alliance. He knows what the plan is. He knows that they're going to try and pin mental illness on me. That's their only chance at trying to get me to be quiet. They figure if they label me with something and I wouldn't submit to any of the other demands, which I'll go into in the next video, that would be, you know, the ultimate trying to label me. And I'm not going to have that either. I'm pretty sure you can tell that by now. But so, yeah, they don't set horses. Anyhow, him of all people, me and him ain't never really had a problem. Nothing like him and his sons. You know, like, it's weird. You can't, my emotions are built differently. And that's something about me that he's never really been able to understand. And I always seem to think we're okay, but he always seems to think that, I don't know. I really don't know. I think he thinks that I have an underlying issue with him, and no matter how much I try and get through to him, he won't allow me to. So, anyhow, every time I think we've mended it, he crosses me. So he's one of those type of people. And I have a video, I have an audio clip that I'm going to play at the end of this, just to show you the imposters. Like, I think I only have recordings of 2 of them, but just to show you how they allude to having these people, the ties, around and on their side and in their favor, and how they always hint at what they're going to attack you with prior to attacking you with it. So anyhow, these 2 form an alliance, but that's further down the road. 2012, caused some drama in Colorado because it's weird. I don't even know if I want to go into all of this mess. Give me a moment. Okay, I had to grab some supporting evidence. So anyhow, I left from our assignment in North Dakota in February. I went to Africa in March. When I went to Africa, me and him were okay. I spoke to him before I left. And we were good. We were talking about planning a trip to Amsterdam. Me and my real relative, we were tight.